Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How is everybody?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm
Exists.
good. Looks like we have a couple people in here from Facebook, a couple of people in here from YouTube. We're just going to wait a couple seconds for people to fill in since we just shared the links. So we are going to be talking about some case updates. We're going to be doing some giveaways. And we're just going to do some light Q&A of some questions that we were sent. And of course, we all are a little spooky. We wanted to get that Halloween vibe.
You just naturally are spooky.
Yes, true.
We're desperate for that Halloween. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Michelle, in a little bit, I'm going to send you a link so that you can jump up here and we can just chat for a second. Okay. Michelle is here. Let's flip over. You know, it looks like all of the comments at least are all coming up on the same thing from both Facebook and YouTube.
I was
So
just
that's
double checking that.
I'm enjoying that. I should probably tweet out our link as well.
Nah.
Twitter is where our homies are at. Let's see. So, are you guys doing much for Halloween?
I think I will go to a party, but a very small get together. But other than that, I think I'm working.
I figured that you would be working.
Yep.
I mean, besides being sad, I'll also be, night before Nano.
Yeah. I did a lot of Nano prep because I'm doing the show for Nano. Yeah. So I've at least already got a whole bunch of sources and kind of picked the cases that I want to start with. Some I'm super excited about. And then last night, of course, I was like, oh, I really like this. I should add this. So it started at 10 cases. And I think it's going to be, 15. We'll see. Right. I wish I would have scheduled more posts because I'm typing them all now.
It takes a certain on topofness that we're not masters of.
It really does. Let's see. Well, I think that some people, even though it's live, some people can start from behind and kind of buffer their way through. So I think in a second, we're going to start with some updates. Let's go to... I hate that Facebook changes all the time because I'm just never know anything.
Anything at all.
Yeah. I just never know where I'm supposed to be posting things. And you would think that I'm on it all the time. All right, so let's start some case updates. Oh, Chip Michelle just called you out.
My bad. I'm never on the Facebooks anymore.
The book
Chip
of faces.
Doesn't have regular Facebook on his phone. He just has Messenger. So good luck getting a hold of Jip.
Don't use Facebook if you need me. I don't know where you should go if you do need me, but it's not Facebook.
All right. So first, we're going to talk about case updates for Joanne Romaine, because on Monday her Unsolved Mysteries episode comes out. So obviously we want everybody to go see it. But also we did mention in the episode that we thought there might be some updates in the near future. Those updates are part of a 3-part series from a journalist that has been looking into the case. The journalist typically covers cases that are organized crime related, like mafia cases. They've written a couple of books concerning the mafia in Detroit specifically. And so that author, Scott M. Bernstein, he released the first part of that series. And I will go ahead and I'll link it somewhere. I'll actually add it into the description of both of them. But it is part 1 dropped, part 2 is coming next week, and the third part I'm going to guess is a week after that. And I have heard that it was going to be explosive in some way. I obviously haven't read them, but from my tips, that's what I heard. I'm pretty excited. I think that they probably want to line everything up with the Unsolved Mysteries episode, which is fair. Right. That is what I will do.
I got sound.
It's going to be...
It's fine.
Oh, no. Did your headphones come out?
The phone. No.
It's fine.
Professional.
We will intersperse these case updates with some Q&A questions. So, both of you, what podcasts do you guys listen to?
D&D. Sorry, true crime. Dungeons and Daddies. Not a BDSM podcast. Sometimes a BDSM podcast. Not currently a BDSM podcast. Very rarely a D&D podcast.
Well,
I don't know that I readily follow one like religiously, I guess, but a lot from our group on Facebook, the Queer Podcast, I will jump on and listen to episodes of that kind of thing. There is one that I follow that's similar to ours. It's a little bit more not as fun. Let's say that.
So it's more serious.
It's very serious.
Okay,
yeah.
What is it?
I need to find it. Let me look real quick.
You can look it up.
Okay, yeah. It's the one where I was telling you about that I was listening to early on. They covered the Voynich manuscript pretty extensively.
I will say that I typically listen to sometimes Mile Higher, but a lot of Mile Higher used to be one of my favorite podcasts, and it's not that I don't love it still, but a lot of times they're covering things that I think about covering, and so I won't listen to those episodes because I just know that when I go to write the episode, I'm going to have an inherent bias towards whatever their idea was, and I try not to do that when I first look at a case. So if I do listen to a podcast, I'll listen to a bunch about that case to try and not get one concrete thing.
Right.
What other ones do I listen to? Also, Lights Out by her husband Josh. That's a really good podcast. Which is a lot darker and leans a lot more paranormal related. Who else?
The one I was talking about was Unexplained Mysteries, but I also follow Astonishing Legends quite a bit too.
Yeah, I also do some YouTube content creators that are the same kind of thing. So that chapter is one of the ones that I follow. We'll actually be covering a couple cases that he covered, but all in one episode for a future episode that is just on internet mysteries. So like different rabbit holes and such, which is another Q&A question. But yeah, just kind of bouncing around. I used to watch this YouTube content creator, Shauna Ray, that no longer does video content, but also really good.
We're doing YouTube shout-outs then. Chills, who recently featured Joey, our friend.
I didn't tell you guys, so I talked to Joey about it. I was like, did you know that you were on this? Joey Adventures, who was in not this last episode. And yeah, she was featured and she said, yeah, I actually found out, but didn't find out right away. But she was pretty excited about it.
Awesome.
Especially because she said she's been in a couple other video content creators, like mashup things, and her channel or Mike's channel, one of the other paranormal investigators that she typically does things with, they never got credited. Like they didn't link to their YouTube channel or anything for people to even find them. So they were just making money off of her content, which is a fun time.
Not cute.
Yeah, not cute.
It doesn't even make sense for your audience who are going to be like, I want to watch more of this. Where do I go see it?
Yeah.
Right.
So, for the people that are here, I can see them bouncing in and out, but there's no comments. Just give us a little hearty heart in the comments.
Please, just let us know. We're not just shouting into the void.
Let us know you're alive.
Michelle's our number one fan right now.
Yeah. Michelle is winning. Zandir needs to step it up.
Right.
So
Zandir has fallen far, and Michelle has skyrocketed.
So we are also going to be doing some giveaways. So this is a book. You can kind of see it. So it is A Deadly Secret, the bizarre and chilling story of Robert Durst. Nice. You may recognize him from a Netflix documentary that's wild. So we have 3 copies of this to give away. We have a cryptid card decal. Local cryptids want to meet you.
I have one of those.
You do. So our patrons already have these, and we'll be getting these in the mail. Our new stickers that are a much better quality than our last set of stickers.
I have those too.
You do. Chip does not, though.
Oh no, Chip.
I don't have the good quality.
Maybe you
ones.
could win a giveaway.
How do I enter?
Hi, Britt. Sorry we had to call you out. We're like, we see you all lurking. There's 10 of you. We know you're here.
Too funny.
Hi, Abby.
Hey, Abby. Hey, G.
All right. So I'm going to put these here. I'm sure more people filter in. We will talk about them. But yeah, so 3 copies of this book to give away and some fancy card decals and some stickers. If you're a patron, you know that our last sticker is not great.
Some of them survived.
Some of them were good, but they stuck to the inside of the envelope. I don't want to talk about it. I'm so upset. All right. Next case update. Lena Chapin. Oh, we were on the TV. I'm a star. Britt, I was watching on the TV and I couldn't comment. Just leave us on the TV. You don't need to comment. I want to feel fancy.
Well, now that you've commented, you could go back to the TV. We needed to know you were there.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite episodes that we've done today.
Lena?
Yeah.
Okay, so I also love the Lena episode, but I would call it a irreverent. And you know I hate irreverent TV shows. I've said it before.
What? Since what?
So it's it's a little more jokey than I think that we had originally meant to go into, but it was a missing persons case. Oh, hi, we're on somebody else's TV. Hi, Shell. It was a little more jokey than we had intended, but it was a missing person. It was so wild, and we were all reacting in time. Chip is using the green screen versus the filter. So it maybe was not as... It was a little more funny than we should have. Gary McCullough's family members ended up subscribing to our YouTube channel. So hi, if you're watching, we're so sorry. As soon as they followed us, I was like, damn, because we covered the case last December, the Unsolved Mysteries episode. We were the only podcast that had ever covered it. And then when the Unsolved Mysteries episode dropped, people suddenly cared. But it's okay because it got us to 10,000 downloads. So happy anniversary to us. So I wish I could tell you that Lena Chapin, that the update for her is that Sandy's in jail, rotting away somewhere. Allegedly, if she allegedly did it.
Allegedly rotting away in jail.
In my opinion. That's a solid yes. And so that's not my update, unfortunately. But Unsolved Mysteries, there was things that didn't go into the episode that they wanted to cover and didn't due to time restraints. Some of those things we talked about in our episode, such as Sandy saying that Gary jumped out of the bushes at her after Lena had already been missing, and we had already seen that they were going to file the court document. They were going to sue her. So she's like, no, Gary's actually alive. He's not dead, I swear. And Lena was already missing. Also talked about the bloodstains in Lena's apartment. And that was something that didn't end up going into the episode.
Right.
Mostly because the apartment burned down. So they couldn't get any of that physical evidence. So Unsolved Mysteries put all of those into a Google Drive for the entire show, the first 6 episodes, created folders for each specific episode, and released all the extra bonus stuff, basically to help internet sleuths find some crack in the case.
You mean
so that
the deep dark truth? You can't tell me when we're live.
Absolutely. I am so uncomfortable.
Can't be controlled now.
He got you.
Thanks, I hate it.
I love it, Chip. I'm here for it. Just forever and always.
Well, I'm gonna invite Michelle so that we can take down Chip.
Oh no.
Find the real deep dark truth.
I will miss you, Chip.
Yeah, so they want basically internet to just find some kind of crack in the case, something that they can investigate. They've taken tips. There was something like 25,000 tips were sent into Unsolved Mysteries just about the first 6 episodes.
Right.
So nothing to do with the ones that are about to drop on Monday. Just absolutely crazy. So I just sent a link to you, Michelle. Hopefully you see it. She's floating around somewhere. So there was also a few different things that they added. One of those was, let's see, Lena would always have to stop saying that he's mime. So not only was Sandy telling Coulter to call her mom, she was also telling other people in neighboring towns when she had him, like, babysitting him or something.
Right. That
it was her kid. That's not weird.
Not at all.
This is fine. This is perfectly normal. Allegedly.
This is a quote from one of her sisters. One time, Lena and I were taking Coulter to see his father in Arkansas. So Coulter did have some kind of contact with his father. in Arkansas, and my mom called us flipping out saying, quote, "You bring him home right now, or I am going to," suicide warning. Maybe too late for that. Kill myself.
I think
I don't know how we do that with a live episode. We'll figure that out.
Sentence, suicide warning.
So
No, Michelle, you do not need makeup.
it wasn't a death threat?
No, it was just
Weird.
It was just
not-
for
not-
it was. I mean,
it's
it was
not
a
on
death
brand.
threat against herself, but
It's not on brand for her.
also she did go and petition the courts.
Right.
We talked about, hey, how did she even get custody of Coulter? She did petition the courts under saying that Lena abandoned him. So I genuinely think I might hate that woman. Like,
Did the dad not fight custody at all?
no,
You know.
but it sounds like he lived in a different state.
Right.
And I don't know if Lena had full custody, but she was just being nice and bringing Coulter to see his dad, or
Gotcha.
what the dad's situation was, how old he was, because remember, she was a teen mom, whether or not there were any other underlying issues about why they would have thought Sandy would have made a more stable home. So,
Yeah, I mean, if I was a judge, Sandy was a clear answer.
I mean, if you were no, because
Sure,
they
mental
should have
health.
been able. They should have been able to see that she was a suspect.
Right.
But it sounds like they never actually officially named her a suspect or a person of interest. Also, remember, she wasn't reported missing.
Right.
So even though there was like a suspect in concern with Gary, they kind of were more going after Clem, after her boyfriend for that,
Right.
than they were for her. Because she was obviously very innocent.
Yeah.
All right, this is UFO related case updates.
Okay.
So, to the tune of Project Blue Book, we talked a little bit about the project that they started that ran up until 2012 when we talked about Project Blue Book and that they had disbanded that. Well, there's another one that is definitely not disbanded. And we know what it's called because, like everything else in the government, it had to go through a budget meeting. So, Marco Rubio, I can't tell you how wild this is going to be because I've never agreed with Marco Rubio about anything. And I agree with him 100% on this. And that is that he put forth this budget thing for the Senate's Select Committee on Intelligence and specifically names the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. And it's basically just trying to secure money in the budget. But it talks specifically, this is what it says. The committee supports the effort of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force at the Office of Naval Intelligence to standardize collection and reporting on unidentified aerial phenomenon. Any links that have adversarial foreign governments and the threat that they pose to U.S. military assets and installations. However, the committee remains concerned that there is no unified, comprehensive process within the federal government for collecting data and analyzing intelligence on unidentified aerial phenomenon. So then it goes on for like 5 more pages, but I'm not going to read. But it goes on for like 5 more pages about all these different things that need to happen to have all these different agencies talking to each other when it comes to UFOs and different intelligence that might suggest that other countries are getting more and more capable of a higher level of technology than we are,
Right.
and how those two things tie into each other. Like, if we're not monitoring UFOs and taking UFOs seriously, at what point does another country have really high performing tech that we don't know about? That the reason we don't know about is because when we hear that a flying whatever, a UFO is cylindrical, or
Right.
that it's shaped funny, that we're just out of hand dismissing it. before we know any other information. That's honestly what I would do. If I would make a flying saucer shaped plane and I would just drive it over other countries. No, really. Like, if I lived in a different country, that is exactly what I would do.
No, you would drive it over Lena Chapman's mom's house.
I'm not saying that I would. I'm not saying
that I wouldn't.
Michelle, are you doing your makeup, girl? You need to hit that link. All right. Next question. While we wait for Michelle, I have a feeling I know what she's doing. So this is kind of like an in general podcast thing. What are you currently working on, and what was your most recent rabbit hole?
Rabbit hole. I feel like
I will let you guys think. I know my answer.
You can go while we're thinking.
So my most recent rabbit hole was on synchronicity, and synchronicity is it's basically a coincidence, but it's more when something looks like it's directly correlated to something, like a conspiracy board, red yarn connected, but it's not a causation. Right. So it's, something could be a coincidence. Like if your mom tells you that her favorite flower is a dandelion, and then she dies, and then you see a dandelion every single day for like a solid month in a row. Like, right. It's a coincidence, but it's also starts to get strangely improbable once it gets to a month. But there's no real explanation for it. It's still a coincidence. I don't know if that's the best way to explain it. But I fell down kind of a Reddit rabbit hole with it. And then they said, oh, if you like that, then you should watch Hellier. So Hellier is a show that's on Amazon Prime, and it's also on YouTube. And I watched both seasons yesterday. Like in one day. They're like 40 minutes a piece. I had it on when I was cooking. I had it on all the time. Mm-hmm. And
shout out to Britt for knowing how to give us the views we want.
I'm making sure we can get Michelle on. But yeah, it's kind of universal theory in the fact that part of Hellier is that the idea behind that cryptids and the occult and aliens are all a version of the same thing. That instead it's like kind of string theory based. Like basically these things don't come from another planet, and cryptids don't come from another planet, and all these things, they all come from sideways. So so instead of the veil between the living and the dead, it's the veil between our dimension and the next dimension. And so that's kind of plays, but it's really interesting just because it includes all of those things. It talks about Indrid Cold. It talks about a lot of random things.
Right.
Oh, there is Michelle.
I look like flipping crazy right now.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey.
Hi, my friends. Love you.
Good to see you.
I'm hiding in a digital hood. You don't look the craziest on screen.
I love your look, Chip. I tried to emulate it. Does it look like I did?
Nailed it.
Yes.
So Michelle, of course, is from our series on her son, Tanner Barton. And we just love Michelle. We talk to Michelle. I talk to Michelle like once a week on the phone.
Yes. Thank you.
She's always promoting us. She's always throwing us cases.
Is. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You guys are the best. When I tell everybody, okay, so I'm going to plug you all right now. Everybody, these people are the best. What they did with Tanner's case and how you researched and dug deep, the best. I plug you all the time because you're the best. So
Well,
And we
thank
appreciate
you. We
it.
I mean,
appreciate
it's a
it
deep
so much.
rabbit hole.
It's
Or
right?
Tanner's case, like, my God.
Awful.
Yeah.
It was awful crazy, but I appreciate you all doing what you did and digging deep and proving everything I've said to everybody is true. I mean, I've given everything to you all, and you all.
Oh, I know. I went through all your phone records.
I know.
I will never forget the 300 pages I had to read. You don't have to convince us.
No, you gotta be careful who I called. I'm kidding. But I appreciate you all.
We appreciate you.
Somebody is stalking our Instagram. They just liked 35 every picture we have.
We
I'm
love
like, why
stalkers.
is my phone?
We love stalkers.
Well,
I don't. My phone's connected to the account.
Mine aren't the nicest.
Oh, no.
We know, sweetie.
You know.
So, me and Michelle were talking that we're going to do a change.org petition for Tanner to attempt to get some type of traction. Hopefully the state police will try and pick up Tanner's case, because I have a feeling Howard County, probably not. That's probably, they're probably not going to reopen. We could probably get 1 million signatures, and I don't think Howard County cares. But hopefully
Well, they care because they don't want people to know what they actually did in Tanner's case.
Right.
Yeah, because they know what they did, and I think
They have
that's
strong
why.
feelings. It's just
what they did and what they didn't do as well, you know.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest part.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and so their reason of not reopening is not because they don't care. It's because they care what people are going to find.
Yep.
As to what they've done.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking to me and Michelle. She's trying to get she's trying to get it FOIA'd, everything FOIA'd. And another podcaster was trying to get everything FOIA'd. And obviously we have all the information because they gave information to Michelle when they closed the case and blah, blah, blah. But they told another podcaster that it was never considered open case. We just did like an investigation. It was something to that thing, they said there was no information to give, which is crazy.
They said it wasn't a case because it was just an investigation. That's it. Okay, but if it's just, that makes no sense, right? Like,
I just wanted to.
I just want to laugh too. What?
It doesn't make. If there's an investigation, doesn't that by definition mean it's a case? I don't know words apparently.
Where's your paperwork? I mean, you have to have your investigative notes. I think they have them. But I thought, and then they had this legal. They have to put their little legal thing out there. We can't do it because of this clause, this clause. So that's twice. So we know Howard County does not want to release anything because they know.
That's a good idea, though. It's a good idea starting with change.org because it can be easily shared and get some, traction and some traffic and.
Well, we need some, and because everybody that reads it, I mean, just like you all, it's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's minor.
Right.
I don't know if this is PG tonight or not. So
I never said what the heck when I first dived into the case. Know, right? It was definitely
I've heard Bo talk about the case a lot, and I don't believe the word heck was ever spoken.
No.
My favorite word comes out
live today. It's YouTube usually lets us slide, but I don't know about Facebook.
What the HE double hockey sticks?
But I just wanted Michelle to jump on so we could tell you guys about the change.org petition that will be circulating. And even though obviously we finished Tanner's cases, so like our next episode that goes out or the episode after that, there'll be a change.org link. And then we'll obviously be sharing that on Twitter and all of that.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not the progress we want, but it's progress.
It's progress, yes.
It's progress. It's the start of progress. It's progress multiplied, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm excited, and like I said, I love you guys. Everybody who's watching, listening, if you have a case, if you have a loved one who needs answers, if you need answers, you need somebody digging, this right here is the podcast. These are the three. This is the trio.
If you bring us a flash drive of thousands of pages of information.
I know.
Diggly dig. Trio.
We just need you to drop a flash drive in our mailbox, like Michelle did. It's very cover of dark. Well, thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Yeah,
love you. I don't know how to
Love you.
Love you. Bye,
Take
y'all.
care. All right,
Bye.
take care, baby.
Oh my gosh, I just love her.
She's great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So were we answering the question from beforehand?
Yes.
Okay. So I have been in a couple things, ever since I brought up the whole Avril Lavigne thing, and my friend is obsessed with it. I'm still going down that rabbit hole, but also the one from the other day when we were talking about sleep paralysis, and me having it, and we were talking about it, discussing it. So I literally the last couple days I've been going down that. Is this thing? Is it created in its mind? Does it become more intense? All these things. So those.
Good. Write it down. We'll do an episode on it.
Done.
You want to ponder shit? Write it down.
Write it down.
Also, thank you and welcome to our newest patron, Laura.
Thank you.
We appreciate you and we love you.
Yes,
and we would love you anyway.
Yes, we would.
We love you more now.
We love you more.
If you want to subscribe to our Patreon, you will get bonus episodes and gag reels and
stickers.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah,
Decals.
and one of these and the car decal, not the book. The book is just for today. If there would have been enough books,
yes,
because I got a deal, I would have bought a ton of them, and all of our patrons would have got them. But there was only like 4. What about you, Chip? What is your latest rabbit hole / what are you researching?
I mean, latest rabbit hole is not related to podcasts, but it's still fascinating. It's, of course, I don't know why I didn't realize these people exist, but there are people who have descended from the royal lines of, say, France, and still claim they think they have legitimacy to the throne of France, which no longer exists. And it was a rabbit hole.
It's me. It's me. I think I deserve the throne of France.
My last name is Champagne, so I mean, count me in.
Not only will I be a good king, I'll be a party king.
You would be a better king than this dude. One of the dudes. I found the main dude on Twitter. I was like, wait a second, what's this King of France Twitter thing?
Wait, what? What?
There's
what?
this guy.
What?
I don't know how to pronounce French names. Louis Alphonse de Bourbon.
Wait, please.
I am now King de Champagne.
Mikey is wearing his leather daddy crown. That is made of leather.
Woof.
Merch.
Chip, I need all of that info so I can join, and
we'll just need your bloodline because he thinks he's a legitimate king by birth, and he has a falling out with the other guy who has a legitimate claim to the throne because they're cousins, of course.
Oh my gosh.
But they're having a little tissy for It's ridiculous.
Yeah, who's going to be the High King and
It's me.
I mean, Mikey's the one with the crown right now.
Yeah.
I have a Carol Baskin crown here, but legitimately,
you're just Mo the Destroyer. That's all you are.
No,
there is no king.
I have a full name. All right. I will say that in terms of the podcast, one day we might do hellier things, but I am doing podcast episodes for NaNoWriMo, which if you don't know what it is, it's National Novel Writing Month. I think most people know what it is by now, but I had planned on doing 10 episodes and that got moved to 12 episodes. And I'm at like 15 episodes. But one of them that I'm definitely going to be covering in that batch, well, two. One is probably The Boy in the Box, and one of them is if anybody listens to True Consequences, Eric Landon does a show, and his little brother was murdered when he was a kid. And so I'm looking into his brother Jacob right now and doing a episode on that. But there'll also be a couple conspiracies, proven conspiracy ones thrown in there, and one unproven conspiracy that's still very popular. And then we'll just see what else. We'll see how I'm feeling. All right. Next.
What are... I had a little bit of a hiccup there.
I was wondering if you just had a strange expression on your face. I can hear you, but you're still fuzzy. It's probably the green screen effect.
Right.
Let's see. Books that you recommend. I'm not sure if this is in relation to like our brand, like our show, books that are related, or just books in general. So just figure it out.
I'm reading a very good book on polyamory right now called Opening Up that was given to me by my friend Ken. And so far it's very good. So I recommend that if that's interesting. I don't know that I really read anything that's like on brand with our brand, but I mean, I always recommend Aragon series because I think it's wonderful.
Movie, not so much.
Oh God, they really messed that up, didn't they? They really, really messed that up.
I feel like I have a long list that is like brand related and that I'm blanking on a lot of them. Meet Me in Atlantis.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Is that good?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about this, what you would expect. It's
right.
basically a memoir of this guy traveling from country to country in different places that Atlantis is theorized to be, and thinking about what he thinks is most likely. And it's mostly kind of about the journey. It's one of those books that it's just exciting for him to be going to all these different places.
Yeah.
And then there's also stuff about the actual lore and stuff from Plato and such.
Nice.
There is one called The Apparitionists. We talked, the Apparitionists focuses on the Lincoln photo, kind of, that we talked about.
Okay, I was like, you've mentioned this before.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
in last year's episode on rituals. Was it last year's episode on rituals? Or was it a different episode?
No, it was this year's, I believe.
No, it wasn't this year's. It was when we talked about Abraham Lincoln and the photo and Ouija boards.
Oh, yeah, that was. Yep.
So last year's episode, rituals episode, it's just about the photographer and some other things that are related. There's a book called The Curse by Ryan Green. That's a true crime book. And then also If You Tell by Greg Olson, which is something I'm currently in the middle of. So I can't really give an opinion, but everybody raves about it, which is why I'm reading it. And then weirdly Element encyclopedias in terms of things that are related to this show. So they have the Encyclopedia of Secret Signs and Symbols, the Encyclopedia of Cryptid Lore, the Encyclopedia of this, that, and the other thing. I own like 3 different.
I own 3 of those as well.
Yeah. And so I'm a fan.
Yeah, those are a very good book series. Not necessarily series, but reference for sure. And obviously the only astrology book you'll ever need, the title in and of itself, it really is the only astrology book you'll ever need. It's amazing. So I definitely recommend that one as well.
I just heard a beep and I bet it's Chip.
I bet Chip is back.
I bet Chip is trying.
Yes, he is trying.
Let the audience know I say, frick you, you frickin' frick, for Facebook. for the Facebook, of course. The Facebook. Okay, boomer. All right.
Okay.
So while we wait
boomer.
for Chip, questions. What are superstitions that all of you have? Since it's Halloween-ish and spooky, we're going to be talking about it on Monday for our patron episode for October. So any superstitions that you have, and don't say that you don't have superstitions because I don't believe it.
The weird thing is I probably have more than most people do, because like I just kind of believe in the concept of positive and negative energy, and usually superstitions stem from like a negative connotation, like something bad will happen if you do this, or this means this, like they're directly connected. So I feel like I have a lot of superstitions. I'm hugely like way alert about splitting like poles and like stop signs and stuff like that when you're walking in a group, because I'm always like, don't split the pole. Like scary movie, obviously. But I don't know. I guess superstitions in the concept of like that's something bad, like don't negative. So I guess I have quite a bit.
Well, I think a lot of people also have superstitions to promote luck or
Right.
to avoid bad. I mean, it depends on the context of how you look at it, right? My sister says calling to the dead. So, no, we're not going to talk. We'll talk about it later. We're not talking about it now. But anyways, on Halloween, I'm making my sisters get spooky.
Yes. I love it.
My grandma told me a bunch of random superstitions that I still to this day I'm not sure that she ever believed, or if she just wanted to fuck with me, but I kept all of them. I hold my breath when I go past the cemetery.
Yeah.
I put my hands to the roof over railroad tracks. I do all kinds of weird shit. It's not necessarily, it's not even that I believe that something bad will happen at this point.
Right.
It's more of
tradition, like a tradition.
I've always done it, and now it makes me think of my grandma. Now that my grandma's passed, it's like a nice thing, but there's just a little part of me.
Yeah.
Like me and Michael were driving the other day. I didn't see the cemetery. I didn't hold my breath, and I was like, well, I have ghosts in me now. Yeah. He's like, but do you? And I was like, I don't know, bitch, better find out. Like, maybe I do.
Maybe you want ghosts in you, wink.
I am not the ghost sex lady.
Not yet.
Are you sure? She's on her way. I don't fuck with cats in general. Like, I just don't. I don't like cats. They're the spawn of Satan. So I'm definitely not crossing a black cat's path. I'm just not.
They are precious little voids.
Yeah, they totally are. Which is the cutest.
So Shannon says, I shared this on the DDT Twitter in the past, but I definitely worry about jinxing myself. For example, if I'm excited about an upcoming event, I won't talk about it for fear that it will be canceled.
Oh.
Yeah. So I won't do the thing where I don't talk about it. I kind of do the opposite to that.
Same.
So I just pretend like everything's going to work out fine and everything's going to happen. And I refuse to acknowledge a universe in which that doesn't happen.
The fake it till you make it strategy.
Yeah. Okay.
I live and die by the sword of the fake it or make it strategy. I really do. That's what this whole show is. Like, it's just fake it till you make it. But part of that is that I'm just really have my blinders on. For example, when I bought my house as a short sale. It took 9 months for my house to close because a short sale isn't short at all. And our realtor started saying, you should really like start looking and putting in bids on other houses. And I said, nope, I'm going to live there. She's like, but really, you should. Like, you should really look at another house.
It doesn't matter if I buy the house.
That's my house. It's my house. Well, I know it's my house. I've dreamed that I was living in the house. It's my house. I vibe with it. It's mine.
Yeah, that's the concept of magic in general. To put forth positive energy.
That was my intention. intention.
And the direction,
it was all
the will,
about
and the
setting
intention.
the intention.
Yeah. So
and the intention was set. That's my house.
That's where I would vibe more with. I get Shannon's point 100%, but I just
I have the opposite where I'm scared to acknowledge a future in which what I want to happen doesn't happen.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
So if I were to put in on a bid on another house, this house definitely would have fallen through.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Chip.
I'm also just a ray of sunshine and optimism too.
Chip,
so, I mean,
we're too spooky for Chip. Chip doubts us so much.
He looks the spookiest right now.
He does. But I mean, in our souls, we're so much spookier than Chip. Michelle, tell us what your superstition rituals are. I'm really interested about that. If they're I'm the hand on the roof type of thing.
I'm interested in Chip's.
Yeah, Chip, you don't have any superstitions.
I mean, I'm certain I must. I just can't think of them. Like, for a little while there, I tried to have the one my sister would always do when you run a red light, you hit the roof. Train tracks.
Yeah. And
we call that orange.
See, padiddle.
Yeah, padiddle.
Did anyone do padiddle with the one headlight?
Yeah, but we did it to take off our clothes. Come on. I still play padiddle.
Well, I understand that. It was the hand on the
That is not the version I learned from my sister.
That's the only version I've ever learned.
That's the only version we play here.
Yeah.
If you see one headlight, you hit the roof, you say padiddle, last one has to take off clothes. I've been wearing not very many clothes on 8 Mile. Shelby not being able to see someone once they've passed, that's just bad. Like, that's not a superstition. That just makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
That's just unpleasant. Yeah.
Very, very that.
Let's see. Michelle, I really want to know the ritual aspect of your superstitions.
I mean, not to be a little irreverent, but got superstitious anytime we started recording, trying to get the mic to go in. No, you have to open the app first. No, don't open the app first. You have to plug in the mic. Then you have to say a little prayer to Facebook.
Yeah. Shannon backs me up. Padiddle is definitely to get naked and not a superstition.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you. Michelle says, I was pitching so many there. I'm good. I think she was writing picturing, but autocorrect.
Gotcha.
But I always hand up to God if I complain. So where does that stem from? Where does is it like an apology?
Well, I think
I'm
it's
so
like
sorry.
God will smite you if you're like complaining or being too like miserable.
Shield yourself from
and
his
so
sight.
You're like, I'm sorry, I'm complaining. It's kind of like please don't kill me. I don't know. That's just what I would gather from it. It makes sense.
Look away, God. Don't look at my shame.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I do the eyelash thing. Is that a superstition?
Oh, the like make a wish. I feel like it's a border thing, but I feel like we could definitely say that.
I also turn around people's necklaces. I'm that weird person that walks around the bar and I'm like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that superstitious though?
Well, it's supposed to be bad luck to have that like hanging out in front. Like there's a type of it gives you good luck if somebody realizes it and does it. Don't know where it stems from, but
I will also turn pennies over. If I see a penny that's on tails, I'll flip it over. I won't pick it up, but I'll flip it over for the next person.
Right.
Which is really weird because you're touching dirty ass money on the ground.
Well, see,
the next person can get
it. Like, because I'm like, I don't want to touch it. So that is superstitious.
Well, now I don't want to touch it because of COVID. But before I had no problem flipping
the COVID penny.
Yeah, that's the same thing with everybody's gross ass mask being all around. Like, I want to pick it up so it's not littering, but I'm not touching it. So
right.
I don't work here. True. Sorry. True. Not my contract.
Get the little shark bitey face that you pick things up with.
Yeah.
Right.
Flipping pennies with it.
I know I have more superstitions.
No, I'm sure.
Trying to think.
Mine keep coming.
Well, we're gonna go back to it on Monday, but now we've got ourselves a head start.
There we go.
There we go.
Here's your foreshadowing, audience. Preview something.
So we kind of talked about future cases in terms of I was talking about nano, but what is a case that has stuck in your head or you guys want to cover. And same thing to the chat. What do you want to see us cover? We've had a couple recommendations that we haven't got around to. Almost all of them we've been through at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one big one still left, and that is Dorothy Kilgallen. And all of her stuff was declassified. And then when the JFK stuff got reclassified, so when they signed the order to delay all of the John F. Kennedy assassination stuff to be pushed back and not be declassified, some of her stuff got reclassified after it had been declassified. It's a shit show. I've submitted FOIA requests. It's coming, whoever requested it. I don't know who it was at this point.
Someday. Keep our podcast going, and you'll someday hear this episode.
Yeah, I think
Patreon.
it was a patron too, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I tried so hard. I have like half of it written, but I just don't have enough source material at this point. Let's see. Cases that we should cover. Also, you should know that everybody's name is going into a random generator, and I can only put your name in that random generator for a book if you've commented. So
we need a name in order to generate the name.
So participate.
Comment, bitches.
You could just say bitches if that's all you want to say.
Let's see. Yeah, the boy in the box is one I want to cover. A lot of them I'm in the middle of covering. I also want to. Oh, Michelle, you're so sweet. I also
highlight that. Leave that up.
We were like, Michelle, please come. Please cheer us on.
You could be our hype man.
Thank you. That's staying up for as long as it can.
Oh, I love Shannon's comment. Yes. Love and light, baby. Love and light.
It's your subtitle. If you had a subtitle.
It is. It really
that's
is.
That's what it would be. Steph, I enjoy this. So I would do a child called It, Michelle, except there's a whole bunch of things that were embellished in A Child Called It. We are doing A Boy in the Box, and I am talking with an expert that is working on the genealogy aspect. A whole bunch of people submitted DNA that think that the boy in the box could be related to them, and somebody that's working on my case, we're going to have them on an episode sometime in November, so you'll probably get it in December. Yeah, I would do A Child Called It, but there was a whole bunch of things that were like embellished, and it's hard to figure out what in that book is actually factual. I did read it. I read it when I was like 16, and then there was a giant blow up about how a whole bunch of stuff in the book was disproven, so I don't want to touch it.
One of the classics that I keep meaning to do is Phoenix Lights, because I need to figure out and ask Dad, hey, did we live in Phoenix that time? And did you see anything?
And we've talked about this. I watched the Phoenix Lights on the television, on the news, and I will never forget it. I will never forget it as long as I live. Like, the first thing in my actual memory that I remember, I think, was Waco, like in terms of giant events. But the Phoenix Lights is one of those. It's like the Oklahoma City bombing, the Phoenix Lights, Waco, the Bush Clinton presidential race. Those are some of my first memories of big things. Right. And I remember watching it on the news, and the newscaster like being really nervous. Right. And everybody, and you know that newscaster voice where they say something really glib but in a happy way, like, are we being invaded? We're about to, it was like that.
Right.
We're about
the end of times.
It was very much like that, and I was just like, what? And I just remember just being like, are we being invaded? And I don't even remember what my parents did. I don't even know.
I go to bed.
I was such an internal child when it came to like bad things and like scary things, but everything else I was like, look at me, aren't I great? But when it came to like anxiety, I didn't really say a whole lot. So I was just like, we're gonna die, and my parents were probably just making dinner. I don't know. Help me. Let's see. I'm really excited that somebody else is excited about The Boy in the Box. So that's fun. Also, Steph, what kind of cases would you like to see with just your eyeballs trying to get my books? Oh, let's see. What else? Superstitions. Trying to look through our stuff. We did books. Chip, did you give books that you recommended?
No, that was when I was
Oh,
dying.
yeah.
That's because Michelle came on, yeah. Books that you recommend.
Michelle was on while I was gone. What?
No. It was when he cut out for a little bit. We kept talking, Mo, but Chip didn't.
I don't really have any on-brand books that I've read recently.
Well, anything
what about not
that you
on brand?
recommend?
What about just things that you recommend?
Yeah, because I mentioned mostly books that weren't on brand.
The follow-up novels, young adult novels to Avatar, The Last Airbender, about Kyoshi, surprisingly good. Like, really good compared to what I thought they'd be.
They're literally in my room right now. Well, one of them is borrowed from a friend. I haven't started it yet. I'm excited, though.
Like, I read the comic that explains what happens to Zuko's mom,
Yeah.
and it was fine. It was kind of underwhelming for me. But the Kyoshi novels were way better than I thought they'd be.
Okay. Huh.
I'm midway in number 2.
Nice.
And I'm like planning on reading the guy who wrote them. Gonna look up what else he's done.
Oh, because you like him as an author?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What else?
Nice.
I just heard half of what you said about a polyamory book. That got me interested as I
yeah,
did.
it was Opening Up was the title.
Oh.
Yeah.
There is another book called The Threesome Handbook, The Guide to Sleeping with Three.
Yes.
And it is written by Vicky Vantock, who is Misha Collins from Supernatural's wife. And it is it is a surprisingly good book. Also, ready?
We got there. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. So, somewhat Jurassic Park related. We were talking in the episode with Joey about abandoned dinosaur amusement parks. We were talking, there's one on Route 66, there's one wherever. There's also one in Michigan, in Olmsted. How do I know this? I read a chat between me, you, and Shannon in 1963. I was searching for something. It brought up something else, the keywords, and I was like, wait, there's one in Michigan? I don't remember. We had a whole conversation about it 4 years ago. But anyways, the point is there's also an abandoned prehistoric forest amusement park or some such thing. So evidently they're common because there's at least like 3 or 4 in the country.
I smell a Patreon bonus. Next time I'm able to visit you.
I think I had friends that once went to like a hotel area that was all Flintstone themed.
That
weird.
Somewhere around Arizona. That's
is it in Arizona?
There's like a abandoned, derelict Flintstones motel.
Okay, all right, that's probably it. Interesting. Oh, the other polyamory book was More Than Two. I've yet to read it yet, but I hear it's phenomenal and it's kind of sweeping the nation right now. Sorry.
So some of you in the comments are a little confused because we're saying things, but you're not seeing the comment we're addressing. There is both Facebook and YouTube. We are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. All of the comments are combining into one chat log for us. So that's why if we're addressing somebody and you're like, who the hell are they talking to? Am I blocked by somebody I don't even know? That's why.
Well, maybe, but more likely.
Yeah, multi-platform.
Yeah, and I think the comment originally started as books that were kind of podcasts on brand, so like cryptids or paranormal books or true crime books, but we also just talked about other books in general.
But we're bad at doing our job researching the podcast. We're just reading other books.
Yeah, so earlier I talked about like The Apparitionists and a couple true crime books, like The Curse. Must be nice. I can't read it without it. And what else what other book? I don't know. a couple different books.
If you're into webtoons, I'd recommend a webtoon called Muted, which is about like witches in the deep south Louisiana type thing, you know, that the New Orleans flavor, and like her mother and sister were killed in a fire. And
wait, what is this book called?
It's a webtoons series comic.
Downloading it right now.
I was gonna say it sounds really interesting. I was
one sentence, and she's queer of some kind, whether it be lesbian or bi or something. She queer.
Have you ever watched? Have you read Castle Swimmer?
Yes, the sad gay fish, followed by season 2 dumb gay fish.
You are on YouTube, Michelle.
Sad gay fish and dumb gay fish.
Just me and Michelle.
The saddest fish.
I love it though. It's so good.
It's cute.
Is Muted better?
I like Muted a lot more, but
okay. All right.
But
I'm checking it out. Thanks.
Castle Swimmer is only about their relationship, whereas Muted, the relationship is secondary to the hey, what happened to my sister and mom?
Subscribe.
Steph was like, I don't even know you. It's fine. Okay.
Michelle, I know you're on YouTube because there's a little logo.
Yeah, there's a little logo. So like it's like Shannon and Michelle on YouTube and stuff on Facebook and etc. etc.
It's because we are all knowing.
I have to say, I'm very happy with that. The fact that both places, like both comment sections, go to the same place. I was very concerned that we were all going to be in different tabs trying to figure out who was saying
Someone thought
things.
about this. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Or they didn't, and then they were like, "Oh shit, this is awful. We need to integrate them."
Okay, what other things? Case updates. Blah blah blah. Should probably start going into. Can one of you
what's up?
find it? Well, maybe not Mikey because it's gonna be harder for him. But Chips on a desktop, like a random generator, so we could put in some names for books. Bless you. Trying to look back. I'm just going through all of the things. Our email and this and that for questions. Really, if you guys have questions, so that I don't have to look through all my email, go ahead and put them in the chat. We should do a Get Vocal, Michelle. We did Get Vocal once, but it was specifically for our patrons. And Get Vocal is currently becoming like a Get Vocal 2.0 thing, which started, I think, yesterday or today. And you have to have a beta account to do it, and we're waiting on our beta approval. Otherwise, we would have did Get Vocal, and it would have streamed to both. But since we couldn't do that, we decided to do StreamYard, just because we'll be able to do Facebook and YouTube and la-di-da all at the same time. This interface is also really nice.
Yeah.
It's a little different on a phone. Oh, also, we are charting in Lithuania right now, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell in Lithuania is listening to us.
I know one person, but...
Really?
Mo, I know everyone.
I would believe. I would absolutely believe.
But Lithuania was like a stretch. Like, our friend Jules is from Malaysia, and like we have some friends in New Zealand. Jonathan is like amazing and promotes our podcast, and some people in Australia. But Lithuania, it's not as bad as the United Arab Emirates. We were trending, and we were on Spotify or Apple's list for United Arab Emirates. I don't know who knows this, but it's very illegal to be queer in the United Arab Emirates, and you could die for it. Thanks, Nan. And I don't know why anybody would listen to us. I was just like, we're contraband. Hide us. Like, I don't know. It's like, we're not worth your life.
If you want to be in the book drawing, make a comment now.
I mean, I think everybody that's commented will just automatically add them too. But
I've added all the names. So if you haven't commented, if you have not commented, tell me before I hit this random choice.
Blue Book, Lena. I'm making sure that I did the updates. Oh, the Orphan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Continue on. So the Orphan, in terms of case updates, I made all these banners and then I didn't use them. The Orphan updates. So, they were trying to get the case thrown out and all these different things for the Orphan updates. They found the birth mother of the girl in the Orphan case, and guess what? She's a child. Not only is she a child, and they found the birth mother, and they had to like confirm it through DNA and stuff. So this isn't just somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I'm from Ukraine, and that's my kid," and blah blah blah. But there seemed to be, I don't know how true this is. Allegedly, at some point, the family knew that there was a birth mother somewhere that was validating that she was a child. So, hope she enjoys jail, and I hope her book empire crashes and tumbles to the ground. Where do you get a t-shirt? I will tell you where you get a t-shirt. Let me type a link actually in our description boxes in both Facebook and YouTube. There should be a link, but I will also type it in the comments. It is on our link tree. I think it's the very top one. It's merch.
Or you could subscribe to our Patreon at a certain level.
Yeah, or you can subscribe to our Patreon. Your second month of the whatever tier that is, the rake, the $20 membership, you get a t-shirt, you get ads, even if that ad isn't for a thing. So for example, it could be for a social media account. It could be awareness for a case, like, Michelle or whoever. And you get cryptic card decals and stickers and access to all of our previously published content. Steph said contraband goals, but I don't know what I was saying at the time. Maybe it was about us being contraband goals because we are queer and people will die listening to us. Yeah, so we have 3 different lines of merch. Mikey, you can go to the bathroom.
Oh, yay!
Let's go.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, he's secretly texting him, just talking about merch. We have 3 different lines of merch currently. One of them is We're Here and We're Queer and It's Time for Murder. One of them is Your Local Cryptids Want to Meet You. And it looks...
I was about to say you could take Mikey off the screen, but it was a good thing you didn't.
What did he do?
Nothing. You'll have to watch back.
Oh, God. One of them is Local Cryptids, and it's this. And one of them is what we call vanilla. And it is just our podcast thumbnail. It depends on how weird you want to get. Really.
How queer are you?
Yeah, so this is
how furry are you?
The cryptic card decal, and the We're Here and We're Queer, and It's Time for Murder. Which is really our brand. They're all our brand, but,
One of them is literally our brand, as in it's our logo. But
I don't even know how long it was until I saw Mikey's thing either, saying, like, I have to pee. Like, just say. It's fine. Oh my gosh. Hilarious. All right. I think that we could probably go ahead and pull some names. So we'll give you guys like 30 seconds for question, comments, concerns in the chat. And then we're going to start pulling names for the 3 books. They are, that's right. We do have 4 lines. Okay, Shannon. Okay. She was just correcting me. We also have a Mikey exotic line.
Our best line.
Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up and let me just screen capture so that you guys can see, because I think it's important.
We're always fun, Britt. You missed all the fun, but also no, not really.
The merch is the third one down. Also, I just want to talk about for a second how much I love Linktree. The fact that it takes all of our
shout out to Linktree
different places and it's free and it's amazing. If you need different links for all your socials and stuff, just make a Linktree. That's what I suggest. I'm going to share my screen. Application window. Sure. Chrome tab? Yeah, let's do that. Make sure I don't have any weird tabs on. I don't, but it was worth it. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Well, if you can see it, they can see it. Did it let me switch over? It did not. Let's try that one more time because it won't let me switch tabs.
Well, if you're sharing the window versus the tab versus the whole computer.
All right. So this is our Mikey Exotic line. You can have a poster. You can have a pillow. You can have all kinds of things. Look at those tattoos.
All your dreams can come true.
All your dreams can come true. Look at that face.
You thought we were free of him while he was in the bathroom. Wrong.
And loading. And then this is the decals. It's like I'm back. We will add him.
What's up?
Hi.
We were just showing everyone your Mikey Exotic
I love that.
merch.
It still creeps me out. as to
Shannon
how-
corrected me that we actually have 4 lines of merch and not 3 because of the Mikey Exotic and then the local cryptids.
I believe technically it was our first line of merch.
It really was. You are correct. And then, of course, vanilla. The description. This line probably won't offend anyone. We make no promises. Britt. Yes, you missed fun things. We were just talking about merch because Michelle wants to know about where to get our merch and the Mikey Exotic line. We talked about what else did we talk about while Britt was gone? I'm trying to remember.
The orphan update.
We talked about the orphan update that her birth mother was found and did like a DNA test to confirm her age. So she's actually a child, and there's whispers, allegedly. Wait, where's my allegedly banner? I need it.
There's a reason we made it.
There we go. There are whispers that they actually knew that the mother existed somewhere and that she was her real age, but I don't know. Don't come for me. I don't know. I just read it. We also talked about Jurassic Park while you were gone, and that there's another abandoned amusement park in Michigan. So we have one and Chip has one. They seem to be very common. A lot more common than
an abandoned dinosaur place.
They're a lot more common than we previously thought. All right, Chip, how about we pull those names? Give away some books.
Okay, you want me to just pull 3?
Giveaways.
The first person.
Sorry, Mo, have you read this book yet?
I have not, but I watched the documentary and I read another book on Robert Durst.
Gotcha. Do you have a copy for yourself or no?
No, I don't need one.
Okay, gotcha.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll.
The winner of the first copy of that book thingy that we're giving away is Michelle.
Yay!
It was not based on how many comments you've made, but if it had been.
But if it was, you would have what?
You would have blown everyone out of the water.
We're pulling 3?
Yes, we're pulling 3.
Okay,
Yeah, 2
another
right
drum
now.
roll.
Okay. Drum roll. Number 2 is going to Britt!
Britt, yay!
Hey, you came back in time.
Just at the bell.
This includes the caveat that you have to be willing to give us your address.
Yeah. If you won't give us your address, I can't send you anything.
Of course, you already live in Michelle's basement, so that's not a problem.
And I'm just saying, be alarmed, because me and Chip have sent some things in our day.
Oh, dear
What
Lord.
are you talking about? I don't know. I'm just gonna drum rolls, please. Number 3.
Allegedly.
Number 3 is Shelby.
Yay! I don't have to pay shipping!
That was an easy
Yes,
one.
Thank you, Shelby. Congrats, everyone.
Yay, Michelle and Britt and Shelby.
So I will go ahead and read the back of this book really quick. It says, when medical student Kathy Durst vanished in 1982, she was married to Robert Durst, son of a New York real estate magnate. Kathy's friends had reason to implicate her husband. They told police that Kathy lived in terror of Robert and that she had uncovered incriminating financial evidence about him. But Durst's secrets went even deeper. For decades, Kathy's disappearance remained a mystery. There you are, Steph. I was waiting for you to pop up.
Britt, I figured that'd be fine. I probably at one point had your address and no longer have it.
One time. Wait, Steph, can we story time? Are we allowed to story time? I want Steph's consent before we start story
We need
time.
consent for this?
Also, I don't know that me and Chip at our old age would do this now.
I can't promise we wouldn't, but
I can't promise we
probably
would. We would do it to each other still, but
Yeah,
I don't know that
absolutely.
we would do it to another living person.
You're so
Well,
old.
Mikey.
God, you guys are so old.
No,
Yeah,
but like it's different when you're in your early and mid 20s.
What
The
was
line
this? Like,
Is
what
somewhere
was it?
else. So, me and Chip, there is a website where you can buy feces. In this case, it was monkey feces. And we sent it to Steph. It was the middle of the night. It was just a whim. It literally was just
You're
a whim.
saying we, but technically,
Okay,
who did the purchasing?
It came from my bank account. But Chip, I'm pretty sure Chip came up with the idea, and I was like,
Almost
not
certainly.
only are we doing
and
it,
it's
but
not like
done.
he didn't co-sign it. Like,
Yeah. And I was just like, not only are we doing it, it's done. Me and Chip have a tendency to be like, if one of us agrees, that's all we need. Like, I just need somebody to agree with me, and then I'll go forward with whatever it
We
is.
just need to be seconded by the other one. And
Exactly.
hashtag co-sign.
So we got the reason it was monkey shit too is because it was the cheapest. I was just like, I don't have the money for this really, but I'm going to. $20, it's fine. So
How is feces said package?
that's more of a Steph question.
Oh.
Steph, would you like to be on camera?
Do tell.
Because the thing is that we obviously weren't warning Steph, like, hey, some shit's gonna show up at your door.
Literally.
What's the point?
Shit.
So Steph didn't open it for a while. And it became an issue that Steph hadn't opened the package. And
Did you tell her the truth?
well, yeah, first of all, Steph had no question about who sent it.
That
It
was not.
wasn't blind, but like there was only really ever 2 or 3 options. Like maybe our friend Colin would have done it, but there was really very little options.
It was a coin flip, really.
Yeah. And really, it was pretty obvious that if one of us was implicated, the other at least knew probably about it.
It happens, apparently.
It does.
They loved it.
Yeah, I don't think I would do it today. I don't think that would be my go-to move.
I've
You
sent
know?
a glitter bomb card, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've contemplated doing that to Chip.
I
but
don't know if I'm like evil enough to send
I've already
feces
been glitter
to
bombed by
somebody.
this friend group.
yeah, but they have ones that actually like you go to open them and they explode.
Yeah.
I want to
I've
say
done
there
that.
was
Yeah, I'm aware.
I want to say it was 2013. So Do you know how many years ago this was? I don't super remember, but there were enough layers
It
of
would have been
packaging to not have to
2013.
touch it. It was clear what it was. 2013, would you say?
I feel like
Chad?
it might have even been around my road trip. So yeah, that would have been 2013.
Yeah,
It was
it felt like 2013.
early us, you know.
Also, super excited Patreon things that are not coming for like half a year, but we're all going on a trip. All three of us are going on a trip. And
Half a year is inaccurate.
It's gonna be
Okay.
haunted, right?
Pretend. Well, yeah, so two of our patrons, one of which is Non, which is here, has Corey has some ghost hunting equipment that we will be lent. Also, I'm going to purchase some ghost hunting equipment because me and Chip were talking about the Estes method with Joey, and I'd really like to do the Estes method. Weirdly, Hellier, the show that I was just talking about with the coincidences, he's from the area and he invented the Estes method. He's from
What?
Royal Oak. It's
What?
really weird. And he worked for the Stanley Hotel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
which
I
is-
don't trust this one. This person is not to be trusted.
Yeah.
Too many
I-
connections.
Yeah, there was a lot of connections, and I was just like, this is what the whole thing is about. It's about coincidences and connections and yada, yada, yada. Shannon, let me tell you about this one time. I was sent an anonymous David Tennant cardboard cutout. I also received a Jensen Ackles cardboard cutout anonymously. We were really into anonymous mail.
Who's David Tennant? Sorry, excuse my ignorance, but like seriously,
Doctor Who
I
and
never watched it.
Barty Crouch Jr.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah, there you
And the which comic TV show on Netflix is he the bad guy in?
Good Omens.
Oh, I haven't seen that one
No,
either.
I did not mean that. I meant superhero girl. She does things.
Do either of you still have your cardboard cutouts?
I do. I have Jensen. He's like all the way over there in the dark.
Oh, poor
And he doesn't have legs anymore because his legs got wet.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
somebody spilled alcohol on him because of course they did. At a
Damn it,
party.
Halloween.
I didn't realize he was wet.
Wait, do you guys drink at your Halloween party?
You're very clever,
You're
boy.
cute. Anyway, so the point is Patreon content, ghost hunting, but also we're gonna go see Mothman. We're gonna go see the Mothman statue. I'm determined to go to Point Pleasant. It's a thing. I have all kinds of things planned. They're all spooky. They're all spooky.
Yay!
You should subscribe right now to our Patreon and stay subscribed until we release that content, which is definitely going to be very soon. COVID
Listen.
isn't a thing.
Listen. It's fine. Also, we spent half of our trips in the woods. I am not concerned. We're going to be in the woods for most of the time. The closest we'll come to people is at the Mothman statue. But we're going to be going there on like a Monday. So it'll probably be fine. Because it'd be going on the way there.
Tequila Rose, just me and Kuba, each with our own bottle of Tequila Rose.
I love Tequila Rose.
I think that we'll have to do an entire, because not only is Point Pleasant Mothman, it's also Indra's Cold. It's also the Men in Black. It's the origin of all of those things. So it's very literally, aside from Salem and Sedona, is one of the like strangest cities in the United States. And Sedona actually has like a giant quartz deposit underneath it, like ginormous quartz deposit.
Yeah,
Have you
of course.
been to Point Pleasant, Shannon? It's much closer to you than it is to us. Has anybody ever been to Point Pleasant? I'm curious. Or anywhere else that's that kind of infamous for like one thing? Oh my gosh, the chat just got resurrected from the dead. Oh my god. All right.
Uh-oh.
I'm showing people.
Why would you hurt me in this way?
So this is the thing that I made of Chip a decade ago. I don't know, forever ago.
Is that a baby Chip
Approximately
Chilla?
2013.
It is a baby Chip Chilla. Seth just sent these. And this is a picture of me when I was a child. And it says peasants. And for a period of time, I used it as a reaction GIF. I used myself, tiny me, as my own reaction GIF. For whatever reason, I needed it. I needed something that meant that. And so I was just like, I'm just going to use this from now on.
I use my
It's fine.
also one quite frequently too. It's literally me in drag singing live, Let It Go. And it's literally, I'm like, let it go.
So yeah, so we're going to be doing some spooky content. And I know a lot of people, especially patrons, they recommend or they want true crime cases covered. The problem with true crime cases for our patron episode, the reason for our Patreon, we stick to a lot of paranormal stuff, cryptid stuff, bonus interviews, is because I really don't want to put true crime content behind a paywall.
You need those clicks.
Yeah, it's not helping anybody. It's not going to raise any awareness for any of these families if I put their content behind a paywall. Right. So you will get true crime content eventually, but it's probably going to be more like Belle and the Witch Elm, which we did, or like the Valentine's Day ritual murder, which we did. That's like a case that's like 100 or 200 years old.
Right. That's interesting, but doesn't need the traction to like take off.
Yeah, you're not worried that somebody's missing or in danger. There's no family to appease or worry about how we cover that content.
Totally.
So it could be a little bit more like Lena, unfortunately. So yeah, anybody that didn't hear updates at the beginning, the Unsolved Mysteries drops on Monday. And the episode that Joanne Matukro main is called The Lady in the Lake. There was also a 3-part investigative journalist series of articles. The first one just came out yesterday or the day before. Next week, the second one comes out, and then the third one comes out. We have heard the term explosive in terms of like the final article in that series. I'm not saying anything.
We will definitely update you in our episodes.
Once they're all released, once they're all released, we'll actually talk about them. And maybe we'll see Michelle and Kelly again at some point in the future there. And then Lena, we just talked about how the Unsolved Mysteries subreddit, Netflix has put all of their case documents and bonus things that they didn't fit in the episode in that Unsolved Mysteries file. A lot of things we did cover on the show, even though they didn't go in the Unsolved Mysteries episode, but you can check that out there.
Because we're clearly better.
Clearly. Michelle, we're doing a change.org petition for Tanner Barton to try and get his case reopened. That will be coming up in a few episodes once we have it and it's live so that it's shareable. Anything else? I'm trying to think.
The orphan.
Did we want to do?
The orphan is a child.
Spoilers.
Confirmed child. Mm-hmm. DNA tested. Found the mother. They're gonna have a really tough time. There's no way that they're winning this case now. I don't think.
Right.
I feel like it was played in a way like on my fears, like the orphan show. It definitely, like the movie, it played on your fears. You were like, oh hell no, I would have left this girl too. So now we're in a completely different spot with that. So it's really sad. Now it's just a really sad case.
Very.
And
very
once
sad.
again, our episode is off color. But how are we to know? Really.
Did we want to do a giveaway for a sticker or decal, or did we just want to stick those in with the books?
We can, well, the thing is, we have a lot of patrons in here who already have these things. But we will send some stickers with the books, and then let's see. And then who else is in here? That's not a patron. Staff will get Staff's address and send Staff some stickers.
Abby technically also commented, so
okay.
we'll have to get Abby's address as well.
So we'll send them some stickers.
Sounds good.
Tammy?
All right. Well, thanks for coming to hang out with us, guys. Any last minute questions, comments, concerns? What do you want to know?
What are you aching to know?
Actually, none. Point Pleasant is also an hour away from Hocking Hills. So we could have potentially went there. Hey, Chip. Oh, you already got it.
I didn't look.
It's doing the background.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize I had that on. So this next week, our next episode is on, what is it on, guys? Oh, it's Rituals Part 2. So a year later. It's just a few rituals, but it's mostly, I wouldn't even say that they're rituals. It's more paranormal games and some Origin of Halloween content.
There is one very important potion.
There is a very important potion that is included in that. And we'll be releasing our Superstitions episode for Patreon before the end of the month, at least. You'll get it before the 31st. That's all I'm promising.
I'll promise no more.
I promise no other things. What else? And then, you know what? I don't even know what the episode after that is going to be. I have a couple options.
The world is our oyster.
But I think between Joanne Matuk-Romaine and Joey and some different guests and things that I couldn't get over. I had to get through October 1st, get through the Patreon episode, get through all of those things. And I think it started in September with The Watcher. It really started with the Watcher episode, and I feel like ever since then, it's just been nonstop. So, we'll see.
If Mo is alive at the end of Nano, it will be a miracle.
Let's not even talk about it. Let's not even talk Nano. Any other things for cases that you would like to see in the future? Please. Like, you can also send them to our Linktree has a submit form somewhere or our email address. Either of those places are good.
Call our tip line at something 411.
Yeah. And as always, you want to be on the show, call in the tip line. Give us a theory, give us a subject, talk about a case. It's really a free for all.
Right.
And not that many people
even vaguely related.
Yeah, and not that many people utilize the tip line. Like, usually it's text in terms of, like, actually calling. Right. And then every time I feel like they're surprised. Like, oh, you put in the audio? Like, yeah, that's why. I thought that's why you called. That was the point, I thought. Thank you, Michelle. Love you. All right, guys. I think that's all from us.
Thank you for joining us on
all of our case updates. Thank you so much for helping us get to 10K. I think technically we're currently at 9,878 or something, but we're not.
This entire live stream is illegitimate.
Yeah, we're not doing this again in 2 weeks. This was the point where we all had free. I knew we were gonna hit it in October. And so it's just a matter of when in October can we do the actual live stream.
Right.
So this is it. I'm really excited.
I am
25 episodes and 10,000 downloads. I'll take it. That's a little over 400 an episode. And then we have our YouTube and whatever. So I'll take it, especially for our first 3-4 episodes. and the editing and trying to figure all
It's
that out.
fine.
I'm real happy with it.
It's been a long year.
It's been
Look
a
Look how far
long
we've
year.
come.
I saw Ariel from Malice posted something today that said, guys, it's been 5 years since 2020 started. And it was like one of those things that you thought was starting and it was going to end somewhere else. And it was just like, since 2020 started. But I thought it was going to be like, it's 2020. It's been 5 years since 2015. I can't believe it. No, it's been 5 years since 2020 started. It's wild.
Okay, but back in 2018, it was like September. Someone was like, do you remember that Black Panther came out this year? I was like, no, that's not possible. that was impossible in that moment. And then 2020 blew my expectations out of the water for the fact that time is an illusion.
It is an illusion. I will agree
Speaking
with
of which, there will someday be an
time-
episode about me talking about time is an illusion.
Time is a construct. Rick and Morty.
Well, I think we're going to eventually do some string theory related things, and we're also going to do Earth hollow flat holographic. So all three main conspiracy theories in terms of Earth and our perception of reality.
Choose your flavor of Earth.
Yeah, they just really what I've been waiting for. I have a lot of the popular theories down, but now I need like the research end of where those theories originally came from, because some of them came from scientists, and so
and some of them came from racism.
You just got to be a buzzkill right before we end. You just can't let it go. You just can't let it go.
We're gonna look for that deep, dark truth. It's not the deep light.
So I'm glad that me and Mikey co-host the show together. It's really the best show that it can be, I feel like, with just the two of us here. I wish I could show Chip's face, but I'm gonna show Chip's face. But I'm also gonna mute Chip, so you can see his reaction, but also can't say the words that he wants to say, you feel me? Oh man,
He's gonna get you back.
is he?
Yeah, maybe by means of feces in the mail, but it will happen.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, is he writing a message?
He is.
We can't see it because you're a green screen. Oh, you should have picked a different screen. This is your own fault.
I still can't read it.
Michelle, 2020 is like airport time. No time zone. I don't even know what that says. So I legitimately...
Something Chip? Justice for Chip.
No. Justice for Chip.
Deep dark
Something...
truth. Deep dark truth.
The deep dark truth. Oh. When do you think Chip will realize that he's not muted?
Fuck you.
I was like, I hear him, but I don't know if he knows that he can hear him.
Okay, that's all. Like, we'll just do this for the next 2 hours.
All right.
We won't make
Peace
other people
out.
watch it.
Take care of
Or
yourself.
out.
Wear a mask and wash your damn hands.
Wash your damn hands, you nasties.
That's it.
All right. Peace out. Love you,
We're
co-host.
sorry. Thank you.
Bye, kitties.
Bye, everybody.
We're still
Really?
live. I'll sit here until we're off live.
Okay.